welcome back to my channel, Andra Sharp. All is Wellness, where we talk all things wellness for our bodies, for our mind, and for our spirit. I just want to say before I start today that this allergy season is sure enough cutting up. This allergy season is kicking my butt. It really, really is. I'm like, wow, my eyelids are so swollen that I had such a hard time even opening them this morning. You said you can't really see how swollen they are, but they are. He can see it. He's just trying to tell me they're okay. And speaking of him, I want to welcome back again today our special guest from last week, Donzel Sharp. We had no intentions, I had no intentions of having him come back on this week and talking about stress, which he said he would last week. So it's amazing because even though it wasn't my intention, it was his intention. And look what happened. He is here today, and that's what we will be talking about. So first of all, Donzel, you have a definition and there's so many definitions of stress, but what definition do you have for stress?
Well, since I'm not a comedy act, I'm not going to give a comedy definition of stress. I'm going to just kind of verbatim of some derive out of some definition that I looked at what stress is. But you know, worry, mental tension, which is can be mental or physical, is stress. But the real thing is what causes stress?
Yeah, there's so many causes of stress because first of all, there's so-called good stress, there's bad stress, but stress is stress. A wedding could cause stress. Funeral can cause stress. Financial could cause, that's a lot of stress right now. Financial problems could cause stress. Marital problems could cause stress. Work-related problems can cause stress. Everything.
A late meal can cause stress.
There's so much that can cause stress. So it's really impossible to avoid it. It is indeed impossible to avoid stress. At some point, we all are going to have stress. Yet some stress is much more mild than some of the other stressors.
Yes.
So, but how we deal and how we process with that stress makes everything. Some people, if they're not able to find their pencil sharpener, not that we really use them anymore today, but if they're not able to find their pencil sharpener, that might stress them out to a high limit. Other people's tolerance is higher, so it depends. But nonetheless, stress is something that we all are dealing with. I can't even say we'll deal with it. I think we all deal with stress.
Yeah. You know, and I always think that stress in its form has two motivational factors or things that can be derived from stress. Stress can make you do something extremely well.
That's right.
And extremely timely.
Right.
Also, stress at a certain level can make you do or allow you to do something that you knew how to do, but because of the stress and the impact of the situation, you don't do it to task, or you don't do it as well as you would like.
Yeah, in other words, it can paralyze.
It can paralyze.
Yeah, you just stuck there.
You know, I get stressed when my grandkids come. I love it. Hey, when the grandkids come, I get stressed. I mean,
my God.
You're talking about.
They
have more energy. They have more energy than I have eyesight to follow them.
Oh my gosh!
Oh
man! It's sometimes as much as we love to see them here, we so love them. But it can be. But it's a good stress.
It's a good
for me. It's a very, and for Donzel, it's a very, very good stress. And I know my daughter's watching this. Dorothy, it's a good stress.
Nevertheless, it put me to sleep.
When our grandchildren are here. And you know, I want to talk a little bit about the symptoms of stress. And when I think of the symptoms of stress, sometimes these symptoms can mimic serious issues. And whenever, even if you think it's stress, if anything is going on with your heart, heart palpitation, shortness of breath, and all of these are symptoms of stress, but always, always seek the help of a medical professional, always,
Yes.
because we don't know for sure what actually is going on. Let them do all the testing that's needed to rule out those diseases, and then you can work on managing our stress, which we're going to talk about a little later. But headaches
Headache.
yeah,
Migraine, yeah, headaches. Even
Backache.
your eyes hurting, back
Absolutely.
aches.
Absolutely.
I mean, even stress to the place where your body feels jittery. You know, that's an interesting
Yeah.
side, but people just stress out.
Yeah, it's true.
You know,
Fatigue.
Fatigue.
Yes,
Yep.
just tired.
Just tired all the time, and which causes you to be short of temper. Oftentimes, and you don't deal with things the way you want, which causes more stress. Now you got to deal with people maybe not understanding what's going on with you. So stress is a really, really everyday thing that we must acknowledge and learn how to manage.
Yes.
But there's a lot of ways to get around stress, and you can work around it though.
Mm-hmm. And one of the ways, and you could talk, we're going to talk like 4 different ways, so I'm going to start with one. One of the ways that I deal with stress, and I put these 2 together because I do them together, that's prayer and meditation.
Mm-hmm.
First, prayer. Praying is something that it just calms me. It puts me in such a place of calm, as does meditation. So those are 2 ways that I can help to, even before stress starts for me, even before my day starts, as soon as my day starts rather, I started with prayer and I started with meditation. Yeah, so that.
Well, yeah, and certainly, and that mental side, to calm down the mind,
Yes.
to calm down the mind, to try to bring all things into sync. Exercise, whether you're walking, whether you're walking or whether you're running or you're playing a sport, all these things, anything to get that target heart rate up to optimum for 15 minutes or so, has the ability to reduce stress on your body. And when it does that, it also usually mentally will cause a strain or the things going on in your brain even to slow down and not feel as stressful. But exercise is a really good thing. Walking in the park,
Yeah.
quiet time,
That's right.
all these type of things are additional things for reducing stress.
Yeah. And when you said walking in the park, I thought of sometimes like in our backyard, we have a little gazebo back there. And sometimes even if I'm not meditating or praying, just sitting in nature, like you said, a walk in the park, sitting in nature it's amazing what that does. Nature is one of the most beautiful things or sights that we could ever see. And the beauty of it was not made by hands, but made by God. And that is just the most beautiful, free things that we could ever lay our eyes on. The third thing, or the third thing that I want to talk about, I'm sorry.
No, your rest.
Is diet.
Okay, diet.
Yeah, I want to talk about diet.
Good.
And with diet is so important, as with the others. A lot of times when we're eating so much sugar, so much not carbohydrates, but I'm thinking of the breads. Those types of things can cause a lot of stress on our body, especially when I say breads, like the cakes, the anything that's the donuts. And I shouldn't have said breads, I should have said donuts and cakes and pies and sugary things. That is amazing what it does to our body. So what we want to be mindful of is putting more fruits and more vegetables. As we add those things to our diet, I believe it will help us tremendously in how we deal with stress. I don't know about that part. I
Yeah,
think I kind of
yeah.
messed that part up. So just
Well,
fix
no,
it up for me.
I don't necessarily think it's a mess up.
Okay.
You can overdo anything,
Yeah.
you know, and so the thing is moderation is
Okay.
really the key. Moderation, because you know what? I know it's hard for our guest, our leader, to get through this. You know why? Because she loved cake. The girl loved cake.
I love
I
cake.
mean, her and cakes is
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
She love them. However, you know, a good diet. If you ever, and I know you've tried it, I hope you've tried it, a good diet or changing your diet to a solid diet will after a while give you more energy, help you thinking clear. So a diet is really interesting. You know, getting the proper rest.
Yeah, and going back to diet real quick too, he's right. I absolutely love my sweets, and I am really working on doing it in moderation. I'm the type of person that I could have vegetables and sweets. I could eat veggies all day, sweets all day. I don't really need the other stuff. I don't do meat at this point, and starches. What are you doing like that?
I do.
Oh yeah, he loves me, and I'm not judging. I'm not judging. It's something that I'm just not choosing to do anymore. However, the diet. We're finished with the diet. I just wanted to just tell you guys that I'm just not eating a bunch of sweets all day, and I'm representing Andra Sharp All Is Wellness and not having a balanced diet, but I do love my sweets. But I am doing it in moderation now. And lastly,
lastly, and this becomes very important to me, and I think probably to all of us, completing small tasks. Whether you're a housewife or a house husband or whether what, when you got tasks or honey-do list or just a list at home to do or at work to do that is not getting accomplished but is building up, it in itself can become a stressor to no end. Anyway, at times, if you don't watch yourself, will overload you to the place where you can't get nothing done because you're thinking more so than doing about all the things that you got to do. One of the simplest things out there that people do, and I know you and I, from our business perspective, and other things we found to work, is when we just stop and do a to-do list, right?
Absolutely. And we used to, back in the day when we had our business, our to-do list was on paper, you know, or on the computer. Today we have it, it's on our phones, your smartphones. They even remind you of all of these things. It's amazing how technology has advanced and all of the things that makes life easier for us. But I think I spoke about that a couple of weeks ago. But with technology too, we have to be very careful because it can be very stressful, because with the extra time that we have, we're filling in. So with that extra time, we can put so much more in there now that can lead to stress as well by having calendars that are overloaded. One thing that you did say earlier, but I think I interrupted you and we kind of went on to the next thing, but it's rest. How important rest is. Rest is extremely important, and sometimes we're not resting, because resting comes with your mind too, you know. And I think to get a better rest is when we turn off the electronic devices and all of that an hour or so before we're actually going to bed. Because I know even last night we were watching this show and I dreamt about it, you know, because it still plays in my mind. So I was not a good example of this last night, but I really did. And it's so important to get 8 hours rest. Absolutely. 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours, whatever, depending on our ages too, you know.
And on you, we all know they give the amount of hours is 6 to 8 hours of continual rest is what we need. However, we do know some people's bodies are just different, but that is what that is recommended. But you know, get a good sleep, get up in the morning, meditate, or pray, and then exercise if you
Yes,
can. Exercise if you can. Now that exercise can be running those little kids out to school. I know that's a task.
Right.
You know, so
Getting them up, getting them dressed.
We don't have to do that anymore, but
Well,
boy, that's
we
fun to
will
even think
in
about it.
2 weeks because
2
our
weeks.
grandchildren will be here for a
Okay.
month in 2 weeks. So it's going to be a whole different game, but we're up to doing it. And it is going to be a good stressful time for us, a very good stressful time. So we talked about stress today. We talked about causes, excuse me, of stress. Excuse me. We talked about symptoms of stress, and we talked about how to manage our stress. Excuse me, allergies, y'all.
Yeah, but you know, and while we're managing that and doing those things, and we've talked about all those, you know, have a stress, not free day, but have a stress managed day.
I love that, a stress
Yeah,
managed
managed
day.
day.
So until next time, don't forget to hit the like button, do subscribe, and also please share. So until next time, God bless you. We love you. Peace.